Well, I'd like to introduce my mom. Um, Her name is Annie Wigley Campbell, and I'm William David Campbell. And the reason we're making this tape is so future generations might know something about us. Um, I'm 60 years old. My mom is the last living person of her generation, both on my dad's side of the family and her side of the family. And what I would like her to do is to tell things about my life when I was a young boy that I really don't remember, when you're babies and so forth, and things that happened between her and Dad related to how they had to live and where we lived, and a little bit about our ancestors, which would be her family and my dad's family. We're currently in St. Petersburg, Florida, South Pasadena district, and Mom's apartment. She lives here by herself and keeps this beautiful apartment all by herself. And I'm visiting down from Vienna, Virginia, and this is April 1988, just so everyone would know where we start. I'll read a little bit here that the statistics that my mother has put together related to my dad. My dad's name was William John Campbell. He was born in Canada, and his dad was named David Campbell, and David Campbell was born in Scotland, and his dad was William Campbell. Now, we don't know whether William Campbell, which would be my great-great-grandfather, had a middle name or not, but we know that we know or think that he was a shepherd, and he was born in November of 1812 in a town called Brubester, B-R-U-B-E-S-T-E-R, Caithnessshire.
It's near Caithness.
Near Caithnessshire, C-A-I-T-H.
C-I. Caithness, C-A-I.
C-A-I-T-H-N-E-S-S-S-H-I-R-E, Scotland. And he died January 3rd, 1898. He was he was married to a Barbara, and her maiden name was Coles, C-O-L-E-S. Right, is that Coles?
Oh, it's a way back.
Yeah. And she was born on April 11, 1820, and died May 2nd, 1897. And they were married on June the 6th, 1845. All right, so William, his son, had a son, David, and several other children. I'll just list the children. These children were all born in Scotland, and they're of William and Barbara Campbell. And how they're listed here: Barbara was born in April 1846 and died 17 June 1872. These dates appear in a Bible that the information was copied out of in Canada. There was a girl born Anne, February 7th, 1848, and she died the 28th of August, 1895. There was a Dolina. Is that D-O-L? Dolina?
Dolina.
Yeah. She was born in July 10th. Now that's the same birthday you have, July 10th, 1853, and lived till the 31st of August, 1903. There was a William, born in January 15, 1855, died 21st of June, 1928. There was a David born, and this David is my grandfather and my father's father. David, he was born in May the 1st, 1857, and he died the 7th of January, 1942. There also were two other brothers. Alexander, he was born in April the 1st, 1851, and died the 15th of April, 1932. And Murdoch was born May the 14th, 1862, and died the 3rd of July, 1935. Well, the story is that Alexander and Murdoch came to Canada. They settled in Canada, settled in Ontario, Canada, and they settled right up there in Bognor or Owen Sound, the Owen Sound area. And they sent, after they got settled, I don't know whether they were homesteading. I don't know how they got their land, whether they...
Homestead, I guess, yeah.
Most of the time that was the way you got it. And they sent for their, for David Campbell, which is my grandfather, when he was 14. Now, his dad was a shepherd, and the whole family, I guess, were shepherds. And David Campbell, my grandfather, came to live with Alexander and Murdoch. And they were bachelors, and I guess they remained bachelors. Now, David Campbell, who was born in Scotland, came to Canada around the Owen Sound area when he was 14 years old, married a lady named Eliza Jane Boddy, B-O-D-D-Y. She was born February 2nd, 1862 in Bognor, in other words, Bognor, Ontario, Canada. She was Irish descent, and she died in August the 4th, 1940. All right, they had a farm and had 8 children. I'll tell you a little bit about the bodies. We have some information here. There was a Matilda body born in November 28, 1860. Now, we don't know whether they were born in Canada or not, but we think they're born in Canada. There was Eliza Jane was born. That's my grandmother. There was John Body. He was born February 14, 1865, and died July 6, 1895. There was William Body, born September 1st, 1876, and he died December 30th, 1914. There was an Albert Wellington Body, born on July 12, 1869, and an Annie Body, born on July 31st, 1872. There was an Edward James Body, born on December 30th, 1874. Excuse me, Edward James Body was born on May 31st, 1874, and Robert Ernest Body was born on April 12th, 1876, and there was an Ida May Body, born on July 31st, 1812. Now, she has, well, Grandma Body, we've got here was on January 18th, 1903, 86 years. That probably was her grandma. And then they have Grandpa Body, October 20th, 1914, 74 years. So that probably was Eliza Jane's mom and dad. And then there was a John James Farley, says born on April 4th, 1887, and died June the 22nd, 1950, but I don't know anything about John James Farley. That's,
Some cousins to the,
yeah.
your
Just-
grandma.
Yeah, this was information
Yeah,
in the Bible, and that's where it came from, and that's all we know about them. I would imagine most
I
of
knew
them.
one of them used to play a violin all the time. The dad did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And probably live around in Ontario, although people have traveled a long while. But the BODDY body had a lot of people in Canada. They were Irish descent. All right. Now we'll go to the family that my dad was part of. Remember, his father's name was David, and his mother's name was Eliza Jane Body Campbell. And they had 8 children, and the firstborn was Elizabeth Campbell, and she was born in December 21st, 1888, and died in February 1960. And then there was Barbara. But who did Elizabeth marry?
Yeah.
Who did Elizabeth marry?
I don't know Elizabeth.
Huh. Anyway, Liz?
Yeah, oh, I guess it is right.
Yeah, Liz.
I never heard it called Liz.
Yeah, well, this is...
Yeah, Liz, yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Well, Liz was she moved to Stratford.
No, she was living in Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
And what was her last name?
Didn't I tell you before?
Mathers?
No, no, it's my
Your sister's name.
I can't think of it. I only seen it once, I believe.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't even think of it last name.
Well, anyway, there was she lived in Toronto
Yeah.
when she was married. We forget her married name.
And she had one daughter.
Right.
But
And she died in February 60.
I didn't know too much about them.
And then there was a Barbara
Yeah.
Campbell, and she married into the Miller family.
She was a nice one.
Yeah, she was a nice,
Yeah.
very nice lady, and had
She had three daughters.
3 daughters and 1 or 2 sons.
No sons.
No sons, 3 daughters. Yeah,
Was
Jean,
Phyllis,
Phyllis.
and
Yvonne? No.
what was the one that was in the islands?
Anyway, I've got some photographs of the girls, so we'll pick that up
Yes.
later. Jean,
Okay, Phyllis was about the youngest, I think.
yeah, Jean was
And
what?
Verna. there was
Verna, that was
Verna.
Verna, Phyllis, and Jean.
And then the one, Jean, that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there was anyway, Barbara was born on March 22nd, 1890, and died in August 1964. The third child was named Mary. Everybody called her Mamie, or Mame.
Yeah,
Mame?
Mame.
Mame. That must be a nickname for Mary.
Well, she would think about it.
Yeah, her married name was Simpson, and they lived in Stratford, right? The Simpsons.
Simonson.
Simonson? Yeah, Simonson.
Simon. That's why they called them Si.
Oh, okay.
That's they always call him Si. And I thought his name was Cyril or something, but I think it was, but Si was from the Simonson.
Okay. He was born, or she was born April 28th, 1893, and died in the fall of 1978.
Yeah.
Then my dad was the first boy born, and he was born on April 13th, 1895, and died October 9 in 1974. And the next child was a boy, Alexander. I guess he had red hair because they called him Sandy, right? Must have like...
No, Alexander for Sandy was, the people called Alexander, they called him Sandy.
Oh.
Not in the account of this here, but just
Oh.
Sandy, Alexander. Instead of saying Alexander, they called him Alec and sometimes Sandy.
Okay. And he was
Yeah.
born March 22nd, 1897, and died October 10th, excuse me, October 5th,
Yeah.
1936. Alexander had served in World War I as my dad had served in World War I, but Alexander was gassed real bad, and he never really did recover. He was in and out of the,
He got mustard
Mustard
gas,
gas.
but he ran away and didn't get so much of it.
yeah.
You know, the other guy said, hey, they thought it was gas, and he run.
Mhm.
You could see the yellow vapor, and he run, but he knew what it was, but he still got some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next child was Annie Pearl,
Yeah.
and she was known as Pearl because I think they had an Aunt Annie somewhere.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
Aunt Annie lived in Detroit with Leo Dumlin, you know, she
Oh,
was
yeah.
Mrs. Dumlin, I was Aunt Annie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, this child ended up being called Pearl all her life, and she was born on April 21st, 1899, and died in August 1983. The seventh child was David E. I'm not sure whether
That's David.
for Edward.
David.
Yeah, but E. He has a middle
I don't
name.
know what they is.
Okay, he was born on January 19th, 1902, and died February 21st, 1980. And the last child
Mel.
was Albert Melville, and he went by the name of
Yeah.
Mel, nicknamed Mel, born in September 14th, 1904, and died October 24th, 1975.
God, just a year after your dad.
Yes,
Yeah.
although he was 5 years younger,
Oh,
No, he's
yeah.
more than that.
Oh,
9
no,
years.
no, he was the youngest.
9 years younger.
Yeah.
So he died
Yeah.
very early.
No, but I mean, it seemed funny. And I think he had a touch of diabetes too
You
when
think
he died.
Well, he was always a little bit heavy. He was the heaviest one
Yeah.
of
Oh,
the
you ought to
boys.
seen him when he come here, and he would wear the same heavy clothes. You know, they could have circled him twice.
Well, he was becoming ill. Right. Now, out of the children, all of them stayed in Canada except
Yeah.
my dad, William John, and Albert Melvin, or Mel.
Yeah.
They moved to the United States and actually both moved to Detroit. And Detroit is where I was born and grew up in Detroit. So I think what I'll do now is ask Mom to talk a little bit about her family, since she's here to tell us something about it.
Yeah.
So-
You said to start this.
Yeah, just
Well,
read where you were born, you know,
Yeah.
tell the people where you were
yeah,
born.
well, well, you know who I am. I'm your mom.
Yep, she's my
This-
mom.
I was born in 79 Seabank Road,
How do you spell Seabank?
Seabank.
Well, C is,
See, don't,
Okay.
yeah. Cleethorpes,
okay, people won't know. how to s-
Lincolnshire.
How do you spell Cleethorpes?
Well, see,
You have to spell it for
well,
the
I
people,
know,
if they want to go
people
look you up
should-
100 years from now.
Cleethorpes.
Okay, Cleethorpes.
Lincolnshire, I don't have to spell
No.
that, sure.
No,
England, United Kingdom.
right.
Well, my daddy was in the British Navy. And his daddy was, I don't know what his daddy done, but his granddaddy was an actor and a builder, a producer of Shakespearean plays. And he built the first dramatic theatre in Worcester, England, in Worcestershire, England. And that building's still there yet. Well, it was there in 1957. And he hired,
But
will
what
I
was
tell
it?
him
Yeah.
about, eh?
Well, tell them, what was your dad's name? You didn't
I
say,
think it was Alfred, I don't know.
oh, you mean your
His first
granddad?
name, my granddad.
Your dad's granddad.
Yeah, no, my dad's granddad.
Granddad
yeah.
was named Alfred, and
I think he was.
your father's name was Alfred.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know what his father's name was.
No, okay, well, that's all right. Yeah, you could tell a little bit about your or that would be your great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
great-great-grandfather, yeah.
Tell a little bit about him.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He was the one that was in the acting business, and he was a producer and a builder. I'll tell him about Booth.
Sure, tell him the whole everything.
And the Booths were quite an English, well-known acting family. Well, the Booth, what was the Booth's first name that killed Lincoln?
John Wilkes Booth?
John Wilkes Booth. Well, he was the drunkard of the family. And once in a while he would, when the Shakespearean plays come, he would act in them. But he was always missing time. They always had to put substitutes in. Well, they've been running some picture, some play around Christmas time, and it run for 2 or 3 weeks. But this week, I don't know if they can, guess they didn't keep the whole 3 weeks pay, but this paid the last week. And the John Booth, before the play was finished, he went in the office or wherever and stole all the week's proceedings,
All
the
the
money.
receipts from the
All of the money.
theater.
Yeah. And he didn't have money to pay his performers because they were leaving that Saturday night, travel Sunday, go someplace else. And he borrowed and he stole not so, he sold things, possessions, so he could pay the people their wages for the week.
And
He
that,
practically went bankrupt, but he didn't go bankrupt. But every penny he had, he spent to pay the people. Well,
and that John Wilkes Booth is the same guy that shot the President
well,
Lincoln.
with the money, John Wilkes Booth had gone to Bristol, you know, not far where they get the boat to go overseas, and landed in New York probably. And I don't know what kind of living, just a drunkard, and I'd probably spend every penny. But he was the man that killed the President Lincoln. Shot President Lincoln. And beyond that, I don't know too much about that, but he was.
Maybe you can tell a little bit about his sisters and the other parts of the family,
Well,
your great-grandfather.
He had one sister was on my dad now, I'm talking about my dad, not we were talking about my great-grandfather.
Right.
Well, his father had he had about 5 or, I don't know how many in the family, 5 or 6. But the youngest daughter was called Nellie Wigley. And she was a music hall artist, what they called then, really. Like musical comedies and stuff. And she was a star then. She was the only star that used their own name. All the other ones would use fancy French names or something, but she didn't. And she was quite successful. In fact, she wanted me. She was acting in Dundee, Scotland. And Mother said, oh, that's your dad's sister. And we went one night when it was kind of late, and we went back and we met her. She wanted me to come with her if I could. Mother says, no way.
Yeah.
Well, and then he had a brother, was a concert singer, and he changed his name to John Charles Thomas. Yeah. And I never met him. And then he had a sister who worked in a brush factory right in Worcester. And when she was older, she married the boss's daughter. The man owned the brush factory. Well, I never met her.
Yeah.
I never met any of them.
Well, your dad died when you were so young.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah, and your
But
mom.
my mother met them.
Yeah.
And then the Annie that I was named after, she married a jockey. I used to ride, I don't know what the queen would be, Queen Victoria or who.
Probably.
She rode there to the steeplechases.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she liked them both.
Yes.
And she said the poor guy would be lying in bed with hot water balls on to lose weight for, you know, the race coming in a
up.
few days. And he'd just be pouring, the bedclothes would be soaked
Yeah.
wet. That's my mother.
Your mother talking.
Yeah, but she liked them both. She said that she liked them better than the other rest of the family.
Good.
But, so I didn't know too much about them, but that's as far as I know about them. But we went, my husband and I, we went in 1957, and we drove a car, and we went there. And we went and asked, first we went to the library and asked if they had any records. So she gives me a records with all the lords and dukes. I says, I don't want that kind of records. I know it wasn't any lord or duke. And, but I asked her about the building.
Yes.
And she said, well, the only Shakespearean theatre building was up the street away. And she says, this has been there a long time. She didn't know how long. But it was a movie house then.
Yes.
It was built with stone. You know, they used
Sure.
to build all the buildings
By
with
stone.
stone. A nice building. But my nephew, he was living in Jackson, Michigan, but he went over there. And he went to the city hall, I guess, and found out about the Wrigley's. And the guy said, if you want to look way back, go to Pershore, Pershore, and that's close to Worcester.
Oh.
Just like
Pershore.
a little town outside. And he went there and he was talking to the man that takes care of the churchyard. It was a big church.
Mhm.
And the cemetery was right near the church. And he says, you go and look on the graves. And there was a doctor, Wigley, and I think his name was Alfred. I think I got, did you mark it down? Did you see that there? What
I don't
Fred
remember
had
that.
said?
No.
But anyway, and that was, men didn't know anything about it. They said most of the Wigleys lived in Pershore.
Hmm.
But this one we're talking about lived in Worcester all the time,
Okay.
didn't live in Pershore. But he said it was saying that Wigley's an uncommon name even in England.
Hmm.
My mother was one around in England practically every town, and they never met a Wigley.
Hmm.
I went to school, never met a Wigley.
So it's not a very common name
No.
in the UK.
It's funny, never met, it doesn't matter where we went.
It's an English name though.
Oh, it has to be I could be, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean it could be
Oh, it is
Scotch or
yeah,
it could be
no, an English.
Irish or
No,
it's an English
English
name.
name.
You know.
But there are Wrigley and Wiley, but no Wigley.
Mhm.
And never, any place we looked, we never saw any name with a Wigley. Every school I had, the only Wiggle Waggle.
Wiggle
they said,
Waggle.
try to make me mad, and I said, gee, what double kids. I thought, well, as little as I was.
Yeah. Wiggle.
But, no other Wigley.
Well, see, maybe you can talk a little. What's the next page? A little bit about your mom, or
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
well, I'll finish about
Oh.
that then. Well, see, I'm talking about my dad, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
as well finish.
sure.
Well, when my daddy was a commander in the Navy, I really don't know what he was. He had a lot of gold braid on his cap and everything, so I couldn't really tell you. But he was getting good money. But, now what was I gonna say now?
Well, you hadn't really said how
Oh,
your
yeah,
dad.
when I was little, my mother had traveled a lot around the world with him, but she was in China, near the Yangtze River, when the British boats used to come there. And when she was expecting me, she wouldn't stay there because her first baby died. Lived one day, she had a beautiful baby boy, and she didn't want any other child to be dying there. So he got transferred. He was ready for home duty anyway, so he got transferred to Cleafards. And he got in what they call here they call the Coast Guard, but I don't know what they called. They had a different name to watch the fishermen smuggling diamonds from Holland.
Sure.
and that's where I was born.
Yeah.
And I had the address there. It was.
You had the address right on the front page, or just? I think you.
Oh
did.
yeah, I
You
did
gave
tell
that,
you. Yeah. And that Seabank Road was right along by the North Sea. They don't build on the beach. It's,
No.
it's just like a resort town, like St. Pete's Beach or Clearwater Beach. No, just little bathhouses here and there, and little stands that sell you snacks.
Yeah.
Snack stands, yeah.
Very good.
And
Now,
water.
Now your dad, he went in the Navy when he was what, 14?
Oh, yeah.
14 years old?
Well, when his mother died, he was around maybe 13 or something. But when he was about 14, his dad remarried. Well, nobody ever said anything about any friction or anything, but I guess he wasn't happy. Well, his grandfather got him to go in the Navy as a cabin boy. And that'd be a little bit better than going as a seaman.
Yeah, and he was 14 years
Yeah, and
old.
he had to wait on the officers in the officers' cabins and stuff. Well, he was still in the Navy when he died, but I think maybe he was retired or he was on land duty anyway. And we were living in Glasgow. And whatever his job, we moved 3 times when we were in Glasgow, so we'd be close to what we was doing. We lived in the city in Glasgow, right downtown where the city hall was, and a hotel right across from the street. And then we lived in Govan and Glasgow. That was kind of central, out a little ways. And the last place we lived was in Campbell. Camp, C-A-M-B-U-S-L-E-N-G.
Oh, Canvas Land.
Yeah. And that was more like a suburb. There wasn't any town there, maybe a few little shops. And the subway, the subway was over there long before they come here,
Yeah.
The subway, and that was the end of the line. Maybe it went a little further, but it was quite a lot of land. But that's where we lived, a nice place. And I know when the Navy Reserve they had a shooting range, I know it'd be north of the little town of Campbellslang, and he would go and see they were doing it right. There were other men there too.
Yeah, kind of like an instructor.
Yeah, he was the head of them, and because he was a first-class gunnery instructor at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And because they had that on, and he was getting special money for that. And he got that every 3 months. He gave his pay, he got every month to my mother. And this 3 months, we must have got a lot because he would take us into Glasgow and he'd buy us a whole new outfit half the time, if it was Easter time or Christmas time.
And he did that off his specialty pay, his gunner's pay.
Oh, he must have had a lot of money for it.
You were telling me about one time about the lords used to take him hunting with them so he could shoot the birds.
All the time. And then there's a Marcus of Graham, I guess he's from Scotland. He liked him, for he knew him on the ship. But he was a Navy man, older than my dad then, but he retired. And he had a great big home and hunting, and he always went hunting. Come with a brace of partridge, 4 partridge would come. And anytime.
That's very nice.
To several other people he would come, but yeah.
Well, they like to get a good shot so they can all have
well, sure,
everybody get a full brace.
Yeah, he was probably shooting for them.
Yeah, sure.
That's the way they always do. All those big, my daddy used to say when those, he was lucky to get as far as he did because he liked them, because he stuck up for himself. Even as a kid, I tell about when he went in the swimming pool.
Sure, go in the swimming pool.
He'd just been on the ship for a few months or something, and the petty officers would teach all the young kids to swim, and they had to jump in with sink or swim. They
Right.
didn't fool around, and he wouldn't go in. So you get in the pool? No, he's too bad. He kept going back. That's what he tell me, telling us, going back. And the guy got after him. He was going to whip him, I guess. He used to
Sure,
whip
oh,
him
they used
then.
to whip them then.
And he'd run like mad. He'd run up the stairs and he could beat the man. And he'd run right up to the deck where the captain was. And the captain caught him in his arms. He said, "What's the matter?" I don't know what he called him. And this guy was right after him when he saw the captain, and he stopped. But again, what's the matter? He said, "You weren't going in the swimming pool to learn the different strokes." And he turned to my dad and he said, "Well, why not?" He said, "There are men there, all scads, running, what do they call it, billing?
Yeah,
Billing scads." He says, "I wouldn't go in there." And he says, "There are also 2 or 3 others not as bad," but he said, "I wouldn't go in there, I'd jump overboard for it." And he would have, if they hadn't done anything. He wouldn't have gone in there. So I said, "Oh." So the captain goes down with the guy, and he looks at the pool, and he can see they all had syphilis or something, some, venereal disease. And he got the guy out there quick. He told them all to come out. And then he says, "Listen, if you ever do that again,"
To the petty
he
officers.
says, "you're going to get out." And this guy, he says, "Put them all in sick bay. If they don't get better, and they find out what it is, they're all discharged."
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, you couldn't have,
And he said, "Don't you ever tell some young boy
anybody.
to go in a pool with men like that."
Right.
So that was one thing.
Showed he had guts even when he was 14 or 15
just
years
like
old.
me.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yep.
Why go in? I wouldn't go in there. Sometimes he used to, when they were able to swim, they would make them jump overboard in the
Jump
ocean.
right in the ocean.
Oh, sure.
That if you either swam or not.
Yeah, well,
I guess
no.
if you didn't swim, they'd
He says
put a pole.
first they taught them to swim on a big board, a table,
Oh,
plain board, and told them all the actions, feet and legs and everything. And then they went, when they could do that without thinking, then they had holes where your arms are, holes where your legs, slots. And then when you could do that without thinking about it, then you went in the pool.
yes.
But they taught you how to jump off the ship, because in case the ship was wrecked or something,
Sure.
you didn't want to step in the water.
No,
You had
even
to
in the
jump.
American Navy,
Well, you had
we
to,
learned
sure,
that, right?
yeah. So, and he seemed to get along, and everybody seemed to like him. And the mother said he was in the hospital. He'd been there. You have to go in submarines. You don't get any choice. Here you get choice, not there. Submarines and all every battleship or any kind of ship. A cutter, a cruiser, they all have cutters. A cruiser or anything. You didn't get any choice.
All right.
Yeah. So he had trouble with his feet. He was soaked to the ankles
Oh, yeah.
every day. And he was in the hospital, and maybe got kind of rheumatism or something, because then,
Yeah.
anyway, you got out of the hospital. But the 2 or 3, one that Marcus Graham really must have liked him. Mother said he was a real nice man. And some other Duke or something, an Englishman that was on the ship with them. But he says half those guys that come on the ship, they were sick all the time. They were out to sea, and yet there was big shot,
Oh, you mean the big shots?
big
Yeah.
shots,
Yeah.
not the captain.
No.
No.
But some lord's son
Yeah,
or something.
just their officers,
Yeah.
but they couldn't. They were sick all the time. Couldn't do anything. He said if the ship went down, they would go down with them unless somebody saved
Somebody
them.
saved them.
Yeah, unless somebody saved them. No.
I'm sure.
But I just like that, the Queen, Queen Elizabeth's son, he
Yes.
didn't like the Navy.
No.
And he has to go in.
Yeah.
Well, he quit now, he wants to be an actor. Well, why shouldn't he do what he wants to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was it. But there were 2, one was a Duke I know, and the other one was the Marquis of Graham. And, they gave him a meerschaum pipe. I think my mother gave it to my brother or something. I don't know what happened to her. Oh, real fancy one.
Yeah.
And give mother stuff, give him a soda box, there's something to hold stuff in. But that's, then the poor guy,
Well, now he died.
I was his mother, I was his baby.
Yeah, you were the baby.
And him and I were just like that. I didn't care. He'd anything, I would eat it. From the fishermen, you know, when we were in Cleethorpes, I don't remember that too much. But mother said the fishermen liked my dad so much that they would bring him a bass, what the bass, like a flat, of it's flat with a handle on it, and they just fold it up and the fish lie in there.
Yes.
And hang it. Just like the mat, it's a little
Sure.
long mat. Bring them oysters and shrimp and fish all the time they lived there. They never wanted for fish.
Mm.
And so, because my dad loved oysters, my mother didn't, she liked them cooked. Well, my dad ate them raw, I eat them raw. And he would, if he was, when he went supervising the fire, learning them how to shoot and raid, you know, on the shooting range, he would pick mushrooms, but a lot of wild mushrooms growing, you know?
And he knew how to pick
And
them
he
up.
knew how to real mushrooms.
Mm.
And he'd bring them, mother wouldn't touch them, but him and I would clean them up. She wouldn't, say she's gonna get poisoned. You don't know anything about mushrooms, but he did.
Yeah,
I figured he'd eat them.
sure.
If we died, we'd have died together.
Yeah.
But
Now-
that was the way, but I was his baby.
Now, okay, now let's talk a little bit about your mother and
Oh,
her
yeah.
family. And then we can talk about you and your brothers
Yeah.
and sisters.
Yeah. Well, this is some about my mother, yeah.
Mom wrote this down so over a
Yeah.
period of time so she would kind of remember, because it's hard to remember everything you have to say over a
Well,
long period.
Yeah. Well, my mother's.
What was your mother's name?
Oh. Well, first she was Rose Ann Menzie, Gillen,
Gillen.
Guillen.
A-N,
What kind of name is that?
English or something, I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Gillen, I don't know. I think it's Irish or English.
No. It's the Galano. They might drop the O.
Or it might be Italian.
She looked Spanish or something. She could pass for
Right.
Spanish. I passed for, she was part French. But the one, any Gillens I know is spelled like that.
G-I-L-L.
Guillan.
A-N.
Yeah.
Okay. But she was born, where was she born?
You know, in New York City.
Oh, she was an American.
Yeah,
Oh, I never knew that.
yeah. On Division Street on Manhattan Island.
Huh? Well, now what was she doing there?
Well, her mother, father, you know, my grandmother and her husband, they went there.
Just for a visit?
No, they went there to live, I guess, but something happened. I don't know what happened. Mother doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
1865 she was born. In January the 12th, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
Huh?
but finally, I don't know. When I asked anybody in New York, most of the Jewish people, oh, that's a whole Jewish street, so maybe you're part Jew for all, Jewish for all of them.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I mean,
No, me
you can't
neither.
have anything to do about it.
No, but I mean, it's no insult or anything.
No.
It's true.
But anyway, she was born in the United States,
Yeah.
New York City, and then they went back to, what, Ireland or England or
I
Scotland?
guess they
or-
went back to, I think they went back to Dundee, Scotland.
Dundee, Scotland. Okay.
For where my grandma lived is where my mother lived. And they had a fire, it was a long narrow room. They had a fireplace at the end of the room,
Mhm.
you know, on the outside. And mother say, our father sit looking at the fire. Of course, in the winter, everybody sit around the fire.
Yes.
And he never cuddled her, or kissed her, or loved, just sit and look at her. And he had a big beard, she said.
What was his name? Do you know? Her father's name?
Father, I don't know what his first name is, tell you.
You never met him.
She died when she was a little girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't maybe that's why he come back. I
Yes.
don't know. She didn't like her father. She was afraid of her father.
Mhm.
And I don't know how old she was when he died.
Yeah.
I don't think she was very old. No.
Now, what was her, do you remember, what was her mother's name, your grandmother?
I think it was Roseanne. I think my mother got
Same.
named after
Named after.
for my grandmother loved my mother
Mhm.
and paid her way into academy. Then they didn't care if you went to school or not. And I guess she didn't get too much of an education, but she was a very smart woman.
Yeah.
You know, we're all born ahead of our time, you know?
Yeah.
She was a very smart woman.
What?
And all the time she lived there, she was unhappy. She was afraid of her father. Well, when he died, and then her grandmother had...
That's your mother's grandmother, your
my-
your great grandmother.
Yeah, but my mother's grandmother,
Grandmother.
my great grandmother, she was I don't know, she was an illegitimate daughter of the Duke of Buccleuch.
Yeah, he's in fact, I think the Duke of Buccleuch is the head of the Campbell
No,
clan.
nothing to do with the Campbells.
Okay.
The Duke, how they got that Duke from some king. He was a Frenchman. His name was
Read some.
de la Mingus.
Oh, with the first one. The first Duke of Buccleuch was a Frenchman.
Yeah, the first one wasn't a Duke of Buccleuch.
Oh.
His name was de la Mingus, the Marquis de la Mingus
Marcus.
from France.
How-
French.
D-
A lot
um,
of Frenchmen
Yeah, I know.
come over there.
Mingus, how do you spell Mingus?
The what?
How do you spell Mingus? De la Mingus.
Well,
Marcus
here it
de la
is.
Mingus.
The Marquis de la Menges.
Uh-huh. Melingus.
And a lot of descendants from, a lot of people still call themselves they call it Mingus, not La Mingus. But that she was, some of the sons had a baby to one of the sons, some country girl, and she was the baby that did.
Okay, so she was the
But
illegitimate daughter of one of the sons
yeah.
of the
Well, by
Duke
that
of
time he
Buccleuch.
was a duke,
Yeah,
Duke of Buccleuch, but at that time I guess he was La Mingus. But that
Okay.
was her name,
yeah.
yeah. And all the time she lived, she paid my mother's at some academy, just right in Dundee, and to get a good education. And that our grandmother, they give her money every month. She'd pick up the money at the bank. She had so much money. She didn't have to live in a swell house or anything, just a little house. And she could, mother said, all the expensive meats and stuff. She'd have fruit when it was never in season, be imported from, usually from Turkey or Israel or,
Yeah.
Arabia or someplace.
So the Duke was giving her a pretty good allowance.
Oh, yeah, good. A lot of allowance. She had nice clothes and everything. And I think she dressed my mother mostly for she go to nice academy, pay for all her tuition and books and things.
Mm.
And when she died, she had 6 children.
Who's this now? Your grandmother
Yeah, her
grandmother.
Yeah,
had 6 children. One was her mother.
yeah. My mother's grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah. And they all were all done well for themselves.
Hmm.
There was, all had businesses, all got along fine. They married. I think she'd one son. I think she'd only the one son. The rest were daughters, and they all were well off.
Hmm.
So she must have saved and left them. But they all married well-off people. Not poor people. All business people. And when she died, well, the oldest son, how every one of them that died said, "You're descended from a Duke of Buccleuch." Well, people think they're just talking,
Sure.
you know. But on their deathbed, mother said, your grandmother said, "No, don't forget, you're descended from a Duke of Buccleuch." Then he'd had got a title, you know, and he changed his name from Mingus to Menzies. That's
The
why
Duke
there's
did.
so many Menzies around.
Oh, yeah.
Because de Lamingus sound too French.
Ah,
And then he got the Duke of Buccleuch. He got that title. They had to buy these titles from the Dukes.
oh,
of
sure. They paid the
course,
king and,
The king had to be in favor of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But
was it Menzies or Min?
Menzies, but his love was Mingus.
Mingus,
The
right.
de la Mingus.
And then they changed it to Menzies.
Well,
In
well,
fact, Menzies is a big,
there
is
must have been Menzies around there, and he said it was a Scottish place, you know, and de la Mingus was, you know, nowhere
Yeah.
near anything, see? So then he got this to be the Duke of Buccleuch. And her grandmother said that. When my grandmother died, she said the same thing to Maud. And told my mother all the time. Mother believed it and didn't believe it. She didn't know. But this son that this, our grandmother, my great-grandmother, our oldest was a son, he was an artist, and he went to Newcastle to live. So he'd be, you know, there seem to be a lot of dukes and rich people in England than there is
Oh,
in
sure.
Scotland, see?
What was his name? What was the man's name? Your great uncle? What was his name?
Menzies.
What was his first name? Was it Robert?
Robert.
Robert.
Robert, yeah.
So he was a portrait or a painter.
A portrait painter or scenery painter,
Yeah.
but mostly portraits. And you die getting money.
They didn't pay them very much to paint.
Even if you build it, you'd have to wait about a year to get your
Yeah.
money. They were tight with their money, all these rich people. So he started painting store shop, you know, store fronts.
Oh.
Mostly the public houses that sold the liquor. And he would put all this royal blue and they always painted in royal blue, and all those king designs, you know, with the two
Crest-like. And stuff,
crests
yeah.
like all over it, lions and stuff. And he was ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah,
Good paint.
he'd get up the ladder and he'd paint these, you know, you had to paint it with glue first. The whole design perfect.
Oh.
Glue first. And then you put the gold leaf, it come in big leaves and little leaves, put that over it and rub it
Oh.
over the stick. But you couldn't have your glue stuck all over it.
No, just stick everywhere.
And then they had a real soft, after it was stuck on, to rub off the outside parts that wasn't supposed to stick, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's an art itself. I've seen a man they put the glue on with like a pen,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, now what would be an ambidextrous? How would that
Well,
help him?
Well, he would do that with his left hand, he could do it with his right hand, just as good, one as good as the other.
So he'd go up the ladder and he'd paint this
One
side
ladder,
with one
you
hand,
never have to move the ladder.
paint the other.
Yeah, sure, but that's,
Oh.
well, the other guys would do something and they would get down about a dozen times. What he would get done, maybe 3 or 4 times. So to the started just hiring him, nobody else.
Oh, so he
And they
was,
were all mad at him. I don't know if they'd
Not
quarreled
only-
about it or
yeah.
not. I don't know nothing about that. But and he had a hotel. He bought a hotel. He made so much money. He made a lot of money.
where was the hotel?
And what he was, what I told you,
Let's see.
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, that's on the water.
Do you remember the name, or do you have an idea what the name of the hotel
No.
was?
No.
And his name would be Robert Menzies?
Menzies.
Okay.
Yeah. So one time he saw in the paper, so this makes it true. They were writing the one that an heir, because the heir that was in there had died, and didn't leave any children.
Oh, the heir of the Duke of
Duke of
Buccleuch.
Buccleuch.
Ah, okay.
No offspring. And there were maybe girls, but they didn't give girls anything.
Oh.
They maybe give them, they would get some money, you know, every
But no title.
provision, you know, but they couldn't take the title. So he seen this in the newspaper, so it applied the solicitor. So he went there. The guy says, he told him his mother was an illegitimate daughter of one of the sons. And the guy says, well, you might have it. So he gave him a name of the guy was handling the estate in Perth, Scotland. So he went up there. And then they said, yeah, he was okay, but he couldn't get the title for his illegitimate.
So since his mother was illegitimate,
Yeah.
they wouldn't transfer the title to
Oh,
him,
no,
even
no.
though
Yeah.
he was lineage. but-
And I think the son married the woman that had the baby because they have the Menzies name.
Oh, well, they might have taken.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Huh.
They took the name, anyway, the Menzies name. But, no, he says it's too bad. He must have been a nice looking man because I know that they come back and they say, well, he said just too bad he couldn't get the title.
Yeah.
But he says, as him being the heir, it was a big, great big houses, you know, big palaces practically. You could go there and live if you wanted to, and they couldn't throw you out.
Huh? Because you were.
Because you're part of the
You're
family.
part of the family.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or maybe get a real good job with them, you know,
Sure.
something to handle the estate or something,
Huh.
yeah. But anyway, he come back and he had the big hotel. And he made all that money with his painting and painting these buildings. He made them, because he'd do it fast, and the guy was happy to see it done. And
And then
the
from,
public house is owned by some big duke
Sure.
or something.
and then he ended up
Yeah.
being able to buy a hotel
Yeah,
in I'll be darned.
so that's that.
But you
part.
never didn't meet him because he was your mother's uncle,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Now, your grandmother had how many children? Do you remember?
I think just my mother.
Just your mother.
Maybe somebody mentioned about she'd had twins, but my mother never saw it. Must have been before my mother was born. They both died. I don't
Yeah.
know what. Yeah.
But your mother's maiden name was Gillen.
Gillen.
Yeah. So her mother
Ne-
was a maiden name was Menzies,
Menzies, yeah.
but she married a Gillen,
Yeah,
who's the guy with the beard,
Yeah.
who she didn't like, who died early, and then
yeah.
okay. So then your mom, Roseanne, went through some sort of a school, an academy,
Oh, yeah, academy.
and then how did she meet your dad? Was your dad in the Navy when she met him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they didn't know each other before.
No, but then, just the way they do here, some places do. The churches, if they're battleship or some kind of Navy ship, or even an army bunch, the churches invite some of the crew,
Oh, I
or
see.
some of the people, you know, and maybe the captain maybe would have friends, rich people who would invite him, you know. But the other officers and stuff, they'd invite them they would have like a dinner in a church hall or something, and that's where she met my dad.
Hmm. Would that be in Scotland then? So
That would
the
be in
ship-
Dundee.
So his ship was up in
Oh,
Scotland?
lots of ships.
Yeah, I know.
Even the German ships come, they love to, you know, they never bombed Dundee.
Is that right?
Well, toward the last, you know, this guy, but
Hitler.
they never bombed it much,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But the First World War, I guess, they were having these blimps come over there. They never touched Dundee,
oh,
because they were always good to them.
yeah.
After for them, when this stupid Nazi guy comes in, then he don't care who he killed.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, you were born, then your mother met your dad,
Yeah,
and they got married.
I don't know if they got married or maybe the ship come back
Yeah.
and been writing back and forth. Or maybe come to marry, they got married there.
And then, do you know what year your parents were married? I didn't see that written down.
Oh, I think she was only about, wait a minute. She was about 7, he was 7 years older than my mother.
Do you have the date that your mother was born? I know the year.
65, 1865.
She was born in 1865, so your dad was born
58,
1858.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well,
And so they were.
you see then she had Maud, no, she had the little boy someplace, some foreign place.
China. No.
No, but some foreigner was,
Okay.
me could have been born in China.
Oh, okay.
But only she didn't, she had no way, she says, I'll go by myself if you
Right.
don't. You know, and he was in time for land duty, for all,
Sure.
home duty. But I really couldn't tell you when they were born, when they were married.
Yeah. So, but anyway, their first child, your
Yeah,
your brother,
yeah.
died.
Yeah.
He died quick one day.
Yeah, one day she had a
Yeah.
beautiful little baby boy, and next day he dead. She couldn't believe her eyes. And she blamed it on the people. But maybe something happened.
Well, where were they living then?
Well, that's where they were living in China.
Oh yeah.
He was stationed in China,
Right.
near the Yangtze River, and they have canals run away the back. You know, away from the docks, you know.
Mhm.
That's where the people go in the canals with those little boats,
Right.
back and forth. And
So then you came back and you were the second child?
no,
No.
I'm the youngest child.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the first
She had
child.
6 altogether.
Well, she had a boy that
She had
died.
a boy. And then my sister Maud,
Maud was born.
boy. And then, maybe it was soon after, my Maud, and then between Maud, and then my brother was born. There were about 5 or 7 years between Maud and my brother. 5 years, I think.
And your brother's name was Alfred.
Alfred's.
Right.
My father's name was Alfred.
Right.
Yeah.
And your brother's name was Alfred too.
My brother's name, yeah.
Yeah. Did he have a second name, Alfred, anything?
They
Just
didn't give people second names,
No.
not much.
Not much.
No.
Okay.
And my sister Maud was born, and about 5 years later, my brother was born, Alfred. And then there was a little girl born between Alfred and Margaret. They only lived three and a half. She had the whooping cough, the chicken pox, and the measles, all at once. Mother said back of her ear was like a honeycomb, a bee's honeycomb.
Poor kid.
Died with a fever.
Yeah.
And then there were about 5 years, my sister was born, and there were 5 years between my sister when I was born.
So the family was really spread out quite a ways. I guess your dad being gone for 2 years at
Yeah,
a
and
time.
he come
and
back.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Navy guys.
Oh, sometimes they were, often maybe longer, depending.
Yeah.
Right on the ocean, just going all the time. Not stationed any place, just on the go. And that's when they went, you know, the Hawaiian Island used to be the Sandwich Islands. Supposed to be a Lord Sandwich was supposed to have discovered them or something. And they were headhunters on some of the islands, yeah. But they would, the ships, anytime they saw land, it was water, they had to get water. See, that was,
Or fresh fruit.
and
or
fresh vegetables and fruit. And most of the time the natives were very friendly. One place he went to where the king of the native, he was a Scotchman, he'd been shipwrecked, and he'd bring him in, and he taught them so many things about growing stuff and doing stuff. They made him the king.
Made him the king.
Yeah, because my dad taught him, you know.
Yeah.
And here was a Scotchman, a great big, over 6 foot, a handsome, with red hair,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't say what island that was, or whether it was in
Well, then
Africa.
they had all had different names then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like in Africa, or off Africa.
Oh no, it was on the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
You know, around Hawaii, they were all headhunters.
Yeah.
They killed one another.
You
Yeah, yeah.
remember you were telling me the story about these men that went ashore.
Oh yeah. Well, they'd sent somebody ashore to get water.
Three or four guys or something.
Oh yeah. So they didn't come back. So my dad and a few of the other men, they went on a cutter to see what. And here they got close. They stopped the cutter and then they kind of wade in. The guys are lying with their head off. And geez, they got back to the cutter and get back to the ship as fast, and hear all those savages coming out. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds like a fairy tale.
Trying to get them.
Yeah. Oh, it's trying to get, yeah. Lying flat, just the arms out, the legs out, and their head disappeared. They used to cure the head, shrink the heads.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, some people, some tribes. And they would just be about this side. Nobody knows how they done that. Bones and everything. See, they're smart in bad ways.
Yeah.
Smart and smart, yeah. So that's one time he didn't get killed.
Yeah.
And then one time, they were in the coast of Africa. They'd been around India someplace, and always looking for water, you know, we're always short of water. And they stopped at this little place, and it was peaceful enough, but they saw a big monastery on top of the mountain, on a hill it was high a mountain, he says. So they stopped and they took the cutter, you know, they have to stay on it. So took the cutter in, they went in, and then pretty soon there was a rope coming down from there with a little box or something, and a priest in there.
Oh, like a little elevator.
Yeah, something like that, because the thing was on top of this mountain
for
thing.
protection, you couldn't get up there.
No, well,
Yeah.
You'd have to cut, no, the sea would come right up
Sure.
there. But it was, when he got up there was a big high building on top, you
Oh.
know, monastery. And they didn't let them all up, they let some of them up, and it was water. So the guys come down, they know where they got the water at the bottom, and they told them near the water, take all you want. They were real nice, they fed them, and then they took them up. My dad had been quite, you know, what was upstairs and all this stuff. And they went up a stair, and he says there were little bowls of liquid and a little crevice cut out in the rock, all the way up, and lit like an electric lamp.
Hmm.
And some kind of water, some
sort
kind of
chemical
or something, right up to the top.
Oh.
And then they had up at the top, you know, or halfway up the top, their sleeping rooms and their eating rooms and stuff. And they had it all, a nice monastery, you know.
Sure.
But he says this carving say was pure stone they built, you know, like with the castles.
Just cut them right out of the
Yeah,
rock.
cut them out of the rock. And, well, you wonder what the heck it was, but I don't know if you asked him or not, but it was weird, you know,
Yeah,
just
you'd be
like electric
surprised,
light.
yeah.
Nobody had electric light, especially a place like that. And it seemed to me, I've been reading some of these books that tell you things or something about some other place they were talking about. The guy comes, these venturers, you know, and they're telling about it was like a hanging bowl like that. It was a bowl full of light, no electric.
Yeah.
But something they knew, or just maybe discovered, but it's something they knew. And he said, oh, just lit the place up like anything. Yeah.
In Vietnam, the armed forces had what they called chemiluminescent paint, and you could have it in a spray bottle. So if you went into like the army guys would go into a hut at night, and they had to read their maps, and they would just spray it right on the wall, and it would light.
Like iridescent stuff,
and it would light for 20 minutes or something like that, and it would go away.
Well, unless he said it was lit, and it went down, whether he didn't know what was.
I mean, give off quite a bit of light.
Yeah,
it would light the whole place up.
Well, you go up a little narrow cutout stair with big steps, you know,
Sure.
around and around.
And have these jars of
and then
liquid.
it lit the whole way.
Oh. Yeah.
And then when they eat, it was a bigger room, you know, not too big. There weren't too many men there. Of course, there might have been more men that you saw.
Yeah, sure.
And he said they had bigger things. But maybe he was just scared to ask what it was. He was too thankful to get the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember talking about that. But the poor guy, and I was his standby. You come from when he was working, you know, you come from the subway and we walk up the street. I'd be down there as far as I could go and wait on him. When he went to the shooting range, I'd be up there as far as I walk. And first thing he would walk down where the stores were, he would go in the baker's shop and buy me a cake or a pancake or something.
Yeah, you were the apple of his eye.
Yeah.
Now you were still living in Glasgow then? Glasgow?
Yeah, that's where he died.
Yeah, he died in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And how did he die?
He had, well, he didn't feel good. He woke up and then the doctor came and said they had nothing to make x-rays and he said he had a brain hemorrhage. But he got up and walked around. It didn't hurt him. If he had that now, it would have cured him. And he went around done his business. I went with him the same.
Well, how long was he in the hospital?
He wasn't in the hospital.
Oh, he just lay down in bed?
Yeah, he wasn't in the hospital.
For how long?
3 months.
Yeah, and then he got up and he was all right.
No, he died in bed.
Oh, and in other words, he got up and then 3 months later he died.
3 months later he died.
But anyway, the first time he had his attack, it didn't last very long.
No.
A week or
That's
something.
only, of course, when he died, maybe he had another attack.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How old was he when he died?
52.
52 when he died. So he
Yeah.
probably was still in the Navy at the time.
Oh. You know, when he died, I think my heart broke.
How old were you then?
Oh. 7.5.
Yeah.
Just he died in April, and I'd be 8 in July. But they wouldn't let us go to the funeral. No kids. Mother went. They had the gun carriage and the Navy men, you know, pushing it and pulling it and walking. And then they had a carriage for my mother and some the head guy. With no children alive.
No.
And I don't know. I could feel myself, the funny feeling I had,
Yeah, well.
because we were so close. Of course, my mother had to be close to my sister because somebody had to have some loving, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were living in
But he
Glasgow.
was good to my sister
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But it just me was gone.
Well, you were the young one, and you were
Yeah, well,
and he
that's-
was home, and
Yeah,
got
sure.
to know you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I know when Debbie and Bruce were.
yeah. You were gone.
I was gone
Well,
so
that was
much
like
I
the
never
other
got to
ones.
know him hardly. You know.
Well, that's like the other one. She was
Yeah.
gone all the time. But
So anyway, when your dad died, now would your mom get a pension from the
she
Navy?
didn't get any pension.
No pension from the Navy. Huh. Gosh. So you were in Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah.
Your dad died. Then did your mom? Well, your brother and your sister would almost be old enough to go to work.
No, they weren't. My brother at that time, he joined the army. And my sister
Sister Maud
bought him out several times.
out of the army.
When he was living with us off and on. And then she would always say, oh, I got a job for you. But when he went to Dundee, there wasn't any job for him. So he joined the army. And she bought him out in the army a couple of times. But the last time, he wouldn't go. He said, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So I guess she got money back. They'd paid £12 or something. And he stayed in the army.
What outfit was he in? What regiment?
The Royal Scots.
The Royal Scots.
He had the kilt and all of a big furry hat.
Yeah.
And then he had the trousers, the tartan trousers. Yeah.
And you were telling me about the collar in his coat.
Oh, yeah.
How do you remember when you were telling me how they had the horsehair in there,
Yeah.
so he'd hold his head back?
Yeah. But I mean, and his belt, he had to clean it with whitening all the time. White belt and, oh, gee. He kept himself neat. He'd come and visit us sometime, you know. And then he went to India, and he would try and tell us all about that gold in New Delhi, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All the golden door, and pure solid gold. You can hardly even open it.
Mm.
Yeah. And inside, the gold stuff. Yeah.
Now, that would be before World War I, when he was in the Army?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he ended, and then he was
And-
in the war.
And when the war come, they took him right from India to the France to fight.
Yeah.
And he was pretty at the end of the war when he got
Got wounded.
the shrapnel or something, lifted the top of his head off and knocked his eye right through his eye. Yeah.
His eye and his elbow, crushed his
And he
elbow.
had something went through his heart, went right through his elbow. Went in there and out here, or in there and out here,
Yeah.
big round hole.
So when it knocked his head off and put his eye out, they put a plate in his head, didn't you say?
Oh, he was in the hospital in England, didn't it?
Yeah.
Took him to England. Yeah, this
Put a silver plate in his head.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he was working, then after he got better,
This be after the war.
he was working in London, I guess, in the post office. They got him a job.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for a while he was in, till he got used to his eye, and there was some kind of a place where the people lost their sight of their eye or something. And till he recuperated, you know, he'd be a nervous wreck,
Oh, yeah.
something like that. And then they got him this, he got along fine. I guess they got him this job in the post office in London. So I don't know what he mentioned the postmaster about having a sister in Dundee. And she was always telling him, come on, I got jobs. She never had any job for him. But he knew, I guess, more about Dundee than he did any other place.
Sure.
And I guess he wanted to be with some family. So they got, the guy come, the postmaster in London come to me and said, well, there's an opening in the post office in Dundee. Would you want it? So he took it. A real good job, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how he happened to be in Dundee. And this woman he married, this Chris, my sister, I guess she, a friend of my sister, maybe worked with my sister or something. Yeah.
And so he married Chris, but she'd been married before.
I don't know if she married or just had the baby.
Just she had a
I
daughter.
think she just had a daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And then she married your brother, and then
Yeah.
they had Alfred,
Alfred
who came to the United
and
States.
Jim, yeah,
And then they had Jim.
Jim, yeah. And there were about 7 years between them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this daughter she had, oh, maybe he got killed at the war, I don't know.
Yeah.
And, but she had the daughter, a little girl, and the little girl lived with her grandmother, because she was working. Yeah.
Now, the eldest sister, Maud,
Yeah,
she eventually got married,
yeah,
and she
to
lived,
that Jim Mathers.
Jim Mathers.
But she didn't have any children.
No, but they lived in Dundee as well.
Yeah, they lived.
They lived there almost all their life. And
Yeah,
now, how was she raised? Maud? Didn't you tell me your grandmother raised Maud?
well, my mother sent her money.
No, but then your
Yeah, she lived with
grandmother,
my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
raised Maud. I guess because your dad was gone and she would go
Yeah,
and
but
get her a
no,
better education.
Mother said that she said, well, she was alone and she would like to take care of Maud. Maud was a little girl, I guess then. And she wouldn't be so lonesome. And she brought her up. But Mother sent money, my dad. Every month they would send her money.
Sure.
They sent her through the post office, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she didn't keep her for nothing.
No,
you know.
no, I don't
She
mean
couldn't
that.
afford to bring
No,
her
no,
up
no,
and buy
but-
her clothes.
Yeah.
But she always dressed, she was smart enough. Dressed nice.
And you had another sister named Mary
Margaret.
Margaret,
Yeah.
And she was
That's the one
older than
closest
you?
to me.
Closest to you. She was
She's
what, about
5 years older.
5 years older
Yeah.
than you are. So, now did she marry anybody? No, she died.
She died. She died on my birthday. She was 15.
Oh.
Wasn't quite 15. 2 months September was her birthday. Right on the 10th of July she died.
Oh.
And that's when I said we went up to the hospital. She had rheumatism when she was about 2 years ago, when she was 13 or something. But just in August, only a month it bothered her.
Oh.
But then the last year, it bothered her.
All year.
Before in the spring, it started in the spring. And then she went up with, doctors then didn't know what was wrong with anybody. They gave her quinine to drink. Didn't do any good. And doctors didn't know what to do. So that she couldn't hardly walk, So mother got sent to the hospital. And she died in the hospital. She was in the hospital about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. She died.
So your sister then died just kind of shortly after your dad died then? What, a few years after your dad died? Your sister died?
Yeah, he died in...
You were about
no,
7, she'd be about 12, and she
Well,
died
see.
about 15, she'd
Yeah,
about
just about a couple
3
of years.
years.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Poor
After
mom
my
really
dad,
had
yeah.
your mom had a hard...
Yeah.
Now, did your mom go to work? Or what?
No, my mother had beautiful hands and feet. Mother had the prettiest feet you ever saw. Doug's first wife, Barbara. She had feet just like my mother.
Huh.
She had beautiful feet. No, not a mark on them, just perfect. Like a baby's, perfect feet. She got a job, they had hosiery, for shoe salesmen. When they had the shoe, they would have at the hall, somehow, they would have shoe displays. All these salesmen come, like a convention, and she would model the shoes.
Oh,
And they would
I
maybe
see.
stay there a week or 2 weeks or something. So she got a job to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if she didn't have any money coming from your dad's pension,
No.
and she just worked once in a while, how did you live?
Well, I think my dad, I told you, give her all his money.
Oh, she had
money,
savings.
she saved it. And that was her money, and his money got every quarter. That was his pocket money. But he spent it on us.
Yeah.
Mother had about 3 fur coats and a cape
So
too.
she was living.
She had saved it.
Saved her
Saved
money
her
and
money,
be
yeah.
frugal enough to get by with the children.
Yeah.
And
No, but I remember she went to some Navy place, and she was telling them she didn't have any money coming in. What was that? And they said, that she should be getting something. And anyway, I was just right in town in Dundee, and then one day we went down with the 2 girls, went down, and I think they give her money every week a little bit, or every month, not very much,
No.
but it was a little bit,
Oh,
enough
yeah.
to buy food anyway, yeah.
would help.
Yeah.
Sure would
But-
help.
But I think, I know my sister or her mother, my grandmother told her, come there, she wanted to go to Plymouth. She loved Plymouth, England.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she did, because where they lived, there was a big golf course, and then a place they called the Common, like in Boston,
Yes.
space, they called the Common. And she liked it, she walked on, you see the water, and,
Be nice,
yeah, she loved that. But when they died, I never tell my mother what to do.
No.
But I often think, when she why the heck didn't she go to Plymouth? They didn't do anything for her. My sister didn't
No.
do a thing for
No. So you lived in Dundee
Yeah.
until you left.
She liked Plymouth, but Portsmouth she didn't like. That's a right one Navy town. When the battleships come in, the ships come in, all the hookers, prostitutes come praying up and down. Where Plymouth, they didn't allow that.
No.
The police would get after them. They would stop there too. But they wouldn't allow the strips, and they didn't have any, these liquor stores and stuff near where the Navy come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of town, and just the docks,
Plymouth,
period,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
Yeah. So then you grew up, you went to school,
I went to school in Glasgow.
in Glasgow,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, well, you had started grade school probably when your dad was living.
Well, they had schools there at that time. They had a penny bookie, tuppenny bookie, threepenny bookie, fourpenny bookie, sixpenny bookie, before you got in the first grade. And then these are all just 6-month periods, you know,
Oh, yeah.
or, you know, half a year. And then when you got in the first grade, some of them, I think you stayed 6 months there. You went in the other grade, or maybe a year you stayed there. Every grade was different. And they did 12 grades, and that was like the high school.
Okay.
You know, they didn't call it, but from the 10th to the 12th, it was hard to get in there if you were dumb.
Yes.
And when I went there the first year, I'd gone to school when I was little, and I could write my name and everything. And I used to always get the best prize for writing and drawing. They had all around the schoolroom, one wall was like this, the board, you know, the blackboard, all of it. And you each got a plate so you could draw some. And I was drawing ships, me. I was drawing ships with little windows and doors and flag in the end, you know. Nothing like a ship would be.
But you win a prize.
And a little box that was supposed to be the quarters, you know, and a pole in the middle. I remember that. A flag on one side and a pole in the middle and little squares for something. But I was always the best when I was little. Well, then when I went Dundee, it took me, mother brought me, but then the teacher took me to this penny bookie thing. And they had the blackboard all over the room, and A-B-C-R-A-T rat. I think, gee, I'd say to myself, boy, I wasn't going to stay in this room with a kid. And I started reading the whole thing, before she even asked me, rat, bat, cat, and all that kind. She said, take up the room, and I got, and it's past that 6th
Oh, you went
grade,
right through, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you were more advanced than that other school.
Yeah, I even taught before she even asked me to. I knew, well, some kids are coming that didn't know what it would be.
No upbringing, you know.
Their parents don't
Sure.
teach them anything. Because we had one end of the kitchen was in Glasgow. My dad gets a piece of blackboard thing, just to use in the Navy, you
Sure.
know, and sets it up. He'd write and we'd write. Learn our name, where we lived. You know your name and where you live when you went to school
Sure.
too. Yeah.
Well, then you went, you went through school in Glasgow, but you were living in Dundee.
Then I went to Dundee and went to school there.
In Dundee.
Right, the school was just a block from my grandma.
Ah,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure would
So
be.
coming home, sometime I'd drop in to see her, see how she was for. And Maud was still living there then, but
Okay.
she'd be working. She worked in a shipping clerk and a big department, so big, what was it, D.M. Brown's. Oh, huge, a lot bigger than, about like Hudson, a place like, not quite so high, in a fancy building, you know, rounded, fancy building. And I think that's where she worked. She worked there a long time.
So anyway, then you got out of school,
Yeah.
and did you go to work, or what happened?
I was working something, I worked something like what my sister was doing, yeah. And it's a factory, but there was a way on the side, mostly where the shipping was taken care of, yeah.
And then you met Jim Martin? Was he from
His
Dundee?
his brother.
What, Ed Martin? Or did he have another brother?
Yeah, Eddie, yeah.
Eddie.
And they were all musicians,
They
you
were.
know, he could learn to play the accordion well, play a piano. Well, he took lessons when they come to Detroit. He took lessons with a lady next door. She was a piano teacher. so he could play his accordion.
Ah,
But he learned a lot with the notes before he played by ear. And then Jim, he could play those, what they call you play with little hammers?
oh
What
yeah,
they call-
xylophone,
Xylophone.
right,
Yeah, two rows.
yes,
Yeah.
you play those. A lot of people that play that can play the piano
Oh,
as well.
Oh, you play that. Well, when they went over, when they went over to see their mother die, which she didn't do then,
Yeah,
they were making a living playing dances and stuff.
yeah. Well, but to back up, before that though, they were playing, they were musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they worked in a factory.
Oh, they were just doing that on the side.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you couldn't make a living hardly.
Oh,
with it.
no.
No. So then they decided that Jim decided, well, you both got married, you got married, and you decided he decided
We
you'd go
got
to
married and
Canada?
didn't tell anybody.
Oh, but did you decide that you'd go to Canada, or,
Well, he had an aunt in Medicine Hat. And
what's that, Alberta?
Alberta.
Alberta, in
Medicine
Canada,
Hat,
yeah.
Alberta, right across from Saskatchewan, the closest city to Saskatchewan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So he had a aunt or an uncle out there?
Oh, he had an uncle and aunt. The uncle was the Martin,
Right.
yeah. And she had what, 3 or 4 sons. And
Mhm.
I don't know if she had a daughter. A daughter, too. And they were all nice. One worked for the distillery.
In Scotland?
No, up in
Ellen,
Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat.
This
This
mom,
other lady.
They lived out in the prairie.
Did you come over to the United States? Was it a sailing ship or was it a steamship or?
Oh, gee, not a sailing.
Well, they were still
A
sailing.
regular ship.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
just wondered.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And where did you land? Where did the ship
In
land?
1920.
Where did the ship land? Oh well, in World War I, was there any bombing or anything?
No, after World War One, the World War One stopped in 1918.
But there was no fighting in England.
No,
There was
nothing.
no.
We landed in Canada, for we were going to Canada.
Where like
In
Montreal.
Montreal, yeah.
Oh. And then take a
If
train.
we'd paid more money, we could have landed. No, we landed in Quebec.
Quebec City.
It was so much cheaper. And then we took the train to Toronto, I guess. No, took the train to Montreal. And then we had to change trains, so we do our way. So we walked around Montreal. And you know, they have a city square just like in Glasgow.
Is that right?
The buildings even look like Glasgow.
Huh.
Yeah,
So you felt comfortable a little bit by
No,
the
it was-
buildings being.
yeah. And then we got the train. God, it was the train never end. 4 days and 3 nights to get to Medicine Hat.
Mm. So
Never,
you went to what?
never
To Toronto? Oh, just kept going.
yeah, maybe
Wow.
picked people up at
Oh, yeah.
Toronto, I don't know. But just kept going. Oh, it stopped for water, and
Passengers.
stopped for drop off mail, and they see your plug, you know, the big box to throw the mail bag in, and stopped at a little it seemed like it was right in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there weren't too many people there.
And then they sell the Coke. That's the first place I tasted Coca-Cola.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it tasted different. It wasn't as sweet as they have it. But it quench your thirst.
Yeah.
A lot better than they make it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make it too sweet now.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, it was just right.
Well, when you got to Medicine Hat, I imagine you
There was
know,
nobody there.
nobody in Medicine Hat?
There was nobody waiting for us.
Oh, I thought you were going to see your uncle or his
Yeah,
uncle.
no, but see,
They didn't know when the train was getting there, probably.
oh yeah, they come on time. I don't know what happened. See, the old couple didn't have a car.
Oh.
The sons had a car.
Oh.
See? All had cars. The sons didn't live there. They lived in other places. But I don't know what was. But there was a garage there, the people I knew. The Peagles, Bill and met the man, had the big, grey big man, a lot bigger than the garages here, but the whole back was all the people that had cars, parked their cars, they all went along in his garage, so it was a big garage. Big empty
Yeah,
spaces
big
for hold
warehouse
all the
like
cars,
that.
because it heated, see?
Sure, and otherwise it was
Yeah.
winter.
So we saw the garage there, the train stopped right in the middle of the town. So we went and asked, and they had the taxi cab service, everything. They owned all the moving stuff. So that they knew the Martins on the bending. Look, that's what they called the bending. Because I went up the hill a little bit and then we went out in the prairie. It was nothing. It was blue. And then it turned. And their house was right at the bend. And then next to it, oh, I would say from maybe here to the, oh, to the end of that big apartment, the
Yeah.
other end, you know. There was a cemetery, and his sister, a man, was married to Mr. Elder and ran the cemetery.
Oh,
You know, he took care of all the data and stuff. So they drove us to the Martins, and we got off, and they were waiting for us, but I guess it's figured that's what they
yeah,
were doing.
well, they had no way of getting
They
in.
had no way of getting in. So they treated us nice. And then I had diarrhea for about 2 days, sitting in the train so long,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, maybe bad, different water.
And they sold food on the train, sandwiches, about a,
Because then you got there, what did Jim's uncle do? What kind of work was he in?
yeah.
No, but what kind of work did Jim's uncle
Oh, Jim's uncle didn't have he worked for the city, and he cleaned off the sidewalks and stuff, and he'd worked in that all the time, I guess. Maybe he didn't know how to do anything else, probably. But everybody knew him,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just that he didn't sweep the street, just cleaned the sidewalks onto to the curb, you know, and then somebody else come and clean the curb. The guys that cleaned the streets cleaned the curb.
Yeah.
But the sidewalks were, you know, perfect. And if there were anything stained stuck there, he would go in the store and get a pail of water. They would give him a pail. Well, it was front of their store. They should have done it, but maybe didn't
City
know.
paid for it.
Yeah, and to clean that off and sweep it to the curb. That's what he done. I don't know if he done anything else than that, but that's what I saw him do.
Well,
But boy, in the winter time.
did he have to shovel the sidewalk in the wintertime?
No, I don't think he done that.
No.
The stores had to do their own shoveling. No. And boy, a lot of people would say, hey, cover up your ears, or your ears will be pure white. And your nose will be pure. We never wasted rich blood. We never even felt cold after that. You know.
But they could tell you were getting
Oh, we
frostbite.
stayed, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't stay out of these 40 below zero. We'd have
Ran from house to house.
yeah, it wouldn't be long, maybe
Yeah.
one day. We didn't stay around.
Now,
But
what work did you do? What did Jim do?
we worked in the candy factory. I did too.
You did.
Yeah.
How did he know there was a candy factory there, or had he worked in a candy
Half the
factory?
people either worked, everybody in the town, they either worked in the flour mill, the candy factory, or the laundry. And the laundry done laundry for practically all over before, all the little places before Calgary, and half the places in Saskatchewan.
Is that
You
right?
come, the laundry come in the tree. If you open the laundry, come big bug would fly out, you know. So I was marking the clothes. I worked in the laundry first,
Yes.
and then they got me a job in the candy factory. For his cousin was a candy maker.
Oh, Jim's
And he-
cousin was.
Yeah, and he got in there too.
Ah.
Yeah. But I worked in the laundry for a while, and then I could take my laundry done, get done for nothing. And it wasn't a big walk, but we lived not too far from the rail. We got a place to live. And then I got in the candy factory, and then I got a helper to his cousin Jim. His name was Jim.
Mhm. Where did you live?
Anyhow, well, we lived there, we lived with them till we
You
got a job, got kind of settled. And then there was a house for rent close to the candy maker, just across the street. And they had a basement, it was gas heat.
It was.
But the basement was just a ground, there was nothing, no finish, just
Dug a hole.
had stairs going down. I was never in, I was scared to go down the basement. But
Like a root cellar or something.
yeah, but that's where the gas was, the gas pipe. Oh, gas. You could heat the house and they had gas lights. And you pay for the water, about $5 a month for everything. And then we had a little gas fireplace, fancy little. Yeah.
Because now
Well, we had to buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
But then just before we could have bought that house. It was 2-bedroom, a living room. We used a kitchen. Geez, a kitchen as big as this from that wall to. And the lady next door and part of the kitchen, she had a built-in bed. It was just, you look at just like a cupboard.
Yeah.
But it was wide at the top and it comes slanting and net at the bottom. All just plain wood.
Oh.
Not like a Murphy bed or anything. But she did, when hooked out, come down. It was a nice bed. It was not too high, you know.
No.
Nice bed. Oh, the kitchen would have was big. It would have made a kitchen and dining room, yeah.
There's a real eat-in kitchen, you might say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot big room, yeah. But the man sold it, $1,000.
Oh.
Big lot in the back.
Well, $1,000 was a lot of money then.
Oh, yeah.
How much would you be making an hour?
Oh, just not very much.
25 cents or something like that?
I know, a week, I forget, $12 or something.
$12 a week.
Something like that,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well, that was bought a lot of things,
Yeah. But food was high enough, though.
Yeah.
Well, in the winter, and they didn't, believe it or not, we had a big yard. And the guy had lived there before. He went and bought a house someplace and he moved it. And all they grew was like potatoes and vegetables. When I moved in there, it was kind of a slanty lot. Gee, I had melons, those mushmelons.
Oh,
yeah.
Cantaloupes?
Cantaloupes. Had peas, all kind of stuff grown there. And they'd never grown cantaloupes before. 'Cause I would tell Andy's wife, Andy had the store in that big apartment building when we lived on Whittaker, on Vernon Highway.
South Street? No,
No,
Vernon.
not South Street, when you go on the back between the two buildings, he had that little store in the corner. You had to go down steps, down the stairs for it. Yeah. Well, I would tell Mame, her name was Mame, I'd tell somebody growing this and growing that. All over town, everybody, I knew him or I did not. Oh, you're growing again. They'll never grow. I said, why wouldn't they grow? In 2 months, things are nothing. If you went away for 2 months, everything would be flooded. That's how quick the earth there was.
Great.
Just beautiful.
So once it melted.
Virgin land, yeah. And I grew tomatoes, I grew potatoes, grew lettuce.
Lettuce, cucumbers and stuff,
And,
pepper.
I don't think I grew cucumbers. And radish,
Yeah.
and the one on top of the hill, I had the potatoes. And the lady next door used to give me her husband's overalls. He was a big 6-footer. I'd have him all to put Paris green on the potatoes. Make a bucket of Paris green for the potato bucket. And I just take that, like a whitewash brush, just do that.
Slush it.
Yeah.
Well, you put the pajamas on you, the overalls on you, so you wouldn't
Oh,
get,
no, overall, me, sure.
so you wouldn't get all messed up.
And then and they thought nothing would come to anything. Well, we had all good. One lady was a real nice lady. She took me to church where she went for Bill. Jim was working in the hospital then. Because after Christmas they don't do too much until the spring again in the candy factory. And he got a better job in the hospital. So this woman, she was from Oregon or Idaho.
Oh yeah, Idaho.
Idaho, I think she was from. And then, you know, it must have been a slump on the farms then, because there was no rain.
Oh.
And they couldn't, so they'd come up to Canada. A lot of people from America and worked on a farm, and then they had no rain there either. So they went back and they were, I guess they still had their farm.
Yeah.
But she was a real nice lady. She had two little boys. So she comes, says, I'll buy some tomatoes from you. So she was good to me. I said, well, you pick, and I had green peas and beans. So she picked a few just for a meal. She wanted, I said, no, you just keep them. I told her to pick them herself what she wanted. Because she was such, and she would invite me up for it. That's where I tasted corn on the cob, nothing else. And that was the best meal and tomatoes, best meal I ever tasted. I can taste it yet.
You never had corn up to that time?
No, not that. I mean, just the company. I had corn with his aunt, you know, an uncle.
Yeah.
But she just the plain corn and cob, a little butter, and that tasted really good to me.
Yeah, fresh corn and
tomatoes. She was a nice, she's a lot older, you know,
yeah.
she. I remember, boy, they were nice people. She went back to Idaho. Kind of a friend, Coeur d'Alene. Is that that's in Idaho. Coeur d'Alene. It's not in Oregon. No, it's in Idaho.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Never...
It's just right in the border between Idaho and some other, around the state, yeah. And she was a nice lady. But then, they all wanted to come to Detroit.
How long did you stay in Medicine Hat?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. So...
Well, now, didn't Ed come over, Jim's brother, come over from...
No, not when we were in Canada. So then Andy and me, and they had a boy and a girl, they come first. And that was Andy, had the little grocery shop.
Oh, yeah.
In that big building. A residential, an apartment building. And so we come. He come first, he got a job. Then he sent for me. And
where did you got a job? Where? In America or?
no, he got a job in remember down South Street there was a grinding company.
Yeah, grinding machines or
No,
grinding
they
mill.
made the grinding wheel company.
Yeah, oh
It's
yeah,
on
yeah,
Cavalry
yeah.
Avenue. Cavalry Avenue, yeah. Well, that's where he got a job. And he was working there. Then he asked me, well, he takes all the money to come down on the trains and have some money. Me, I'm always at the tail end.
You're still at Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always want. And we just, that time, we didn't have, the guy sold us, so we just it looked like a shack. It was just a two-room house. It was well built, you know. And I bought a new stove, made it nice. You know, they had an old-fashioned stove. I had a brand new gas stove and different, just had about 6 months. And I didn't have any money at all. The time I paid the rent, well, the rent wasn't much, $10, or it wasn't even that, what was it, $7.50 or something a month's rent. For this guy owned it he was from Russia or Lithuania or someplace, and he had a lot of little houses.
Wow.
And so time I paid, and I had to run up a bill and no money to buy groceries, run up a bill at the grocery store. Time I paid that and bought my train ticket was about $100. You know how much I had when I went on the train? And this Marie and the guy had the big garage and stuff. There's two sisters and you work with the candy factory, Katie and Marie. Hubner, the name was. And they come, she wasn't married, she'd married one of the brothers that owned the big thing at that time. She bought me a big basket with sandwiches and fruit and stuff in it.
Oh, yeah.
While I go in there. $1.79 I had in my pocket for a 4-day ride. Not a penny more. Can you imagine that?
And a basket of sandwiches.
And a porter, he was
What
not
was
porter.
Jim born then? No, Jim.
Huh?
Did you have Jim then? No. Was Jim
Oh,
born?
well, Jim was a little boy, nice little boy.
Oh, so Jim was born in Madison Hat?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He'd be about 2.5 or so. I forget much of Vincy. We went there when he was born in June 20, no, born in June 21. About a year after we went there. And then Ed was born in, what the hell, 2 years later or something, I forget. 25. But anyway, here I was expecting. Well, about 6 months, probably July or something when I went there.
So you had a little baby,
Yeah.
Jim, about 2 or 3 years old, 3 years old.
Yeah, about 2.5 or
Yeah.
something, you know.
And then you were pregnant,
Yeah.
and you had to come from
And this
Madison Hat.
conductor is one of the conductors, young, nice young man. Well, it wasn't for him, he brought us, twice a day he brought us food
Hmm.
on a tray, you know. And then he passed some town. I know if it was Manitoba before you come to Ontario. He says, my sister just lived there. He says, I just wish you could come and stay with my sister for she's lonesome. I don't know what her husband done, but he was gone a lot. And she would be delighted. And I thought, oh, I better go. Somebody be waiting on me.
Yeah.
Often, after that, I often wish to God I had gone and never moved, stayed there.
Yeah.
And he used to be a brakeman or something, but they're always falling off. And he'd hurt his one foot.
The conductor
And it
hurt
kind
his
of
foot.
made him, so they made him a conductor.
Maybe cut a piece off his foot, you know,
I don't
the
know.
wheel, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. But he was then a conductor, a real nice man. A man I imagine about 30,
Mhm.
a real nice, he took care of the kid. And then, I had no room for a berth, the seats folded down, and I would lie in them. And then I would wake up and the old conductor would be sitting opposite, and then in case some of the passengers would molest us, you know.
Sure.
They took real good care of you.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. And then I had to get off at Toronto and change to come down to work. I figured to Detroit, you know. And then he comes and picks me up in Windsor. And I thought he was standing there. He said, oh, you've got to get off. And then I just had a little bag with me, but the big trunk I had went on to Detroit. So we just picked it up thereafter. See, never paid my head tax. Didn't even pay his own head tax. It was only $8 then. And he had a job he could have easily got
Sure.
when he had the job.
So then you came across the bridge or something.
Oh, no,
What, it
on
was
the
in his
boat. We
car?
used to have
A boat, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Ferry,
sure.
like.
So next day, we stayed at a hotel overnight, and I had, I think he took the bag himself, took it home in Detroit, I don't know what. But, and he had a little teddy bear. I used to have one, I was like a little gray teddy bear.
Hmm.
And I think you had the teddy bear. When he,
I don't know.
then the one with a little silver gray teddy bear, some of yous had.
I just don't remember them.
Cause, yeah,
I
just when
don't.
you're a little kid.
Yeah.
But I had that when I was a little kid. And you could scrub it and wash it, it just looked like brand new. But anyway, we got up and, you know where the museum, no, the library was on Woodward Avenue
Oh, yeah.
in Detroit. Well, then on the one side was west and one side. Well, on the east side, there was two or three streets. You would the first 2 blocks were, our institute was across from the library.
Yes.
Well, about 2 blocks
On the
from
east
the
side.
back on the east side. There was a great big house that they rented like housekeeping rooms. Whoever owned it must have been rich. Geez, the ceilings were painted with scenes, the walls were painted with scenes. I don't know, big rooms, but the sleeping rooms weren't very big, but we got one right off the kitchen, a great big room, and the bath was upstairs. Yeah. So we stayed there a while.
So, but Jim he wasn't working around there. He was working over on Calvary Street.
Yeah.
So he had a long ride every
Oh,
morning.
well, it wasn't so bad. Just the streetcar and change on the West, what was the street? Jefferson.
Jefferson, right?
Yeah, West Jefferson. And I went around by where the army barracks went.
Fort Wayne?
Yeah, Fort Wayne. Went along that way, went
Right.
down some, so he didn't have far to walk, it was on
Yeah.
cavalry. And then he saw this house for sale, for rent on Cavalry Avenue. The big shop in the front, and there were a row of houses, well, there's a second house in there. So he rented that, and we moved there.
Now, when was Ed born?
Huh?
Where was Ed born?
Oh, Ed wasn't here yet.
No.
Then, I didn't know they were coming half the time. They say, well, they're coming now, they've been writing back and forth, but you never hear anything
Oh, yeah.
about
No, I
it.
mean your Ed, not the other Ed. When Eddie, little
Oh,
Ed.
he was born when we lived in this housekeeping room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to the women's hospital. That was just right close on Forest.
Was it part of Grace Hospital or no?
No, they called it the women's hospital. I think at one time it was just for women.
Yeah.
But after they had everybody, that's where he was born. Didn't have a doctor. I just went to the hospital and they checked me out
And he was born in 1924? 23 or
no,
4?
25.
25.
No, I'm getting all mixed up. 23.
Yeah.
I'm getting, no, 23.
Yeah, 1923.
We just got over there,
Yeah.
23. He was just a baby practically
Yeah.
when they took.
So then Jim's brother Ed,
Yeah, then he come.
he came over to,
And then his brother-in-law come over. I think they come over at the same time. He married to he was a baker. And I don't know how, I never know the last minute they're coming, see, but they had it all planned for something. And he come, and I like Peter Gartley, Garthly. I liked him. And then he didn't like it because Jim took him all over East Jefferson, with the Wonder Bread and all those bread bakers were. And the guy would have hired him in a minute, but it's all machinery. And he's worked in a private bakery he wanted. And there are a lot of bakeries, and was in Del Rey. And he was going there. I said, there's no use of going there, you'll never understand them. They're either Polish or Hungarian.
yeah,
And I says, they're in the bake shop, and you hear them yabbling in their own language. I said,
never hire a Scot.
they'll never hire you.
No.
Otherwise you'll never be able to talk to them. So then he got homesick, so he went home. And I felt I should have taken a job in the big bakery. But he went back. And then the first thing you know, we moved to South Street. Because this house they had, their bathroom was on the outside of the house.
Oh,
You practically had to go outside,
Sure.
But it was like a garage, it was close to the house. And that's where no bath, just a toilet. And I didn't like that. The rest of the house was fine. So then we moved to The corner house on, you know, the building we lived in, the corner house had had 3 bedrooms.
In the apartments?
Yeah, downstairs.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, the front of the apartment was
Right.
on living house, had 4 apartments, 4
Yeah,
flats,
yeah.
not apartments.
Where the G's used to live.
Hmm?
Earl G, didn't they?
Oh no, G's lived when we lived where you remember on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was one apartment that had 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, well there's 4
Two.
in the front,
Yeah.
all had 3 bedrooms.
Oh,
Because of our, Ed and Margaret
yeah. And the baker
us,
man.
and us and the kids, you know. So they had one of the bedrooms. And then they rented somebody he worked, I don't know, they were still working in the grinding wheel company. And then he got, that Mr. Monar, he worked in that